If you can remember from my previous videos, I have a cone set up over a hole in a block wall that bees have nested in. So I'm trying to use my smoker to blow smoke and get the bees out of the block wall. Pile of dead bees. Look at the amount of that. Now, I could understand starvation maybe. That kind of a pile of dead bees is a lot. And they're moist. Maybe the rain did it. Yeah, we got a big wax moth. It doesn't smell chemically, so it could have just been the rain moisture. But this really sucks. One observation and experience from doing a trap out: it looks easy enough on paper, but not so great. This sucks. What I think happened is this colony was sprayed, or if I'm wrong, maybe the colony wasn't sprayed and it was just that heavy thunderstorm. Okay, so now I have a new box with a screen bottom board that's detachable, and I have a frame that was halfly capped with honey on each side. So instead of keeping that frame to extract it, I put it back in here for those bees. I'm sure they're hungry. As you saw, we did find the queen, so she's in the clip for now just to make sure she stays contained, and I'm gonna leave the bees like that for the rest of this afternoon. So I'm gonna go to the D yard just to check up on a couple of hives there, and then we'll stop back here later on in the afternoon just to see how they're doing. Okay, I just spent some time kind of observing, watching the house. There's all kinds of openings and holes. Again, this is the side of the house. They got a hole drilled in the block there. Again, this is all open soffit. So I've been paying attention, trying to find if there's another wild hive around here somewhere. Again, this is fairly undeveloped. I don't happen to see. I walked around here and maybe in the tree areas, and I didn't see anything noticeable as far as clusters. We got some pine trees here in Florida, but I didn't notice any bee activity near trees or clusters under branches. but based on my observation, I think I haven't even used any smoke yet. Again, I think the colony at this point has left because we found the queen on the cone, as you saw. But then I just put a simple frame of half frame of capped honey in there, and there's a lot of forage activity. There's a frenzy going on. So what I did to kind of reduce the robbing is I reduced the entrance, and I tried to make sure the top was on as tight as possible. But you'll see in the entrance here, I just kind of have some weed that I wadded up, and then I jammed a stick in there. So I'm forcing the bees to use a little tiny entrance, and I left one pretty much empty frame that I did from the cutout. That was the piece on the sheet of plywood that was removed from the window down there that had a little bit of honey on there. So in case I didn't notify you guys, the colony that I did have that was here, I didn't get them. They ended up absconding, I believe, and it looked like a lot of robbing activity because there was a lot of wax that was kind of like in pellets, powderized. So I think that this colony robbed out that colony over there. And now I just found a whole pile of dead bees, as you saw. So I don't know if it's because they got moist and it was cold, because we did have here in Florida a thunderstorm, and then we had a couple of nights that it got cold. So that could have been enough to kill them. I did find a frame where bees were still inside the cells, buried with their heads in. So I think it could have been attributed to both starvation, because they can't get back in that cone to get to the nectar stores. So it could have been a combination of starvation because I didn't leave them enough food, and the cold and wet. So hopefully now, as I mentioned, just to summarize, we have a new box, a new screen bottom board. We have one frame that's half capped honey on both sides and one empty frame. So we'll leave the queen in the clip. We'll come back later this afternoon to check them, and we'll see how it progresses. So stay tuned. Not good, folks. Looks like a lot of robbing was going on here. I thought it was a failure because of the dead bees, and then when I found the queen and had her clipped, I thought that was a success. And then here we are, and now it basically looks like they just got completely robbed out. The wax is completely decimated. The bees must have escaped through the clip because it's completely empty. So maybe they went through this back part here. I hate these piece of crap plastic clips, and maybe that's the reason. If it's not set, they probably just came right out of it. So well, there you go. So I did have a queen, and now I don't because I didn't find her in there. I'm just going to leave the box here for a couple more days. Okay, so it's Sunday, February 3rd, 2:30 p.m. and we're here at the block wall cutout, and I'm just trying to decipher what's going on. So as a summary, you guys have seen there was a bunch of dead bees when I came, and I found the queen. I had the queen in the clip, and I gave the colony a frame of honey, and I think that started a robbing frenzy because that frame got completely demolished. I noticed the clip was empty, the queen wasn't there anymore, so either that clip got shifted, or it's just a crappy plastic one. The queen could have just slipped out. She might have flew. I mean, I found her on the side of the cone, so I don't know if she thinned out because she didn't eat a lot. I mean, she could have just walked right out of it. So anyhow, I don't know. It was good. It felt good to catch the queen, but it sucked now that I lost the queen. There's no bees in the box the last time I checked, so let's see what's going on. I'm noticing there's 2 dead bees. Or at least a dead bee at the entrance. No clusters underneath the nuke. We do have some bees that are flying. I haven't removed the cone yet from the old entrance. And we notice, of course, ants on the top of the lid as usual. Yeah, there's nothing. This was the frame that it was half full with capped honey, and the bees completely cleaned it. There's definitely no queen, no bees. I don't see a cluster. Like I said, under this constructed home, there's so many cavities, it's hard to say exactly if there's any bees up there. At least they're not noticeable. And there we go, folks. So that's it. I'm just gonna walk away for a while, and that's all. I'm pretty much done with this. It's a failed effort, so I'm gonna go put my attention towards my other colonies.